have Jonatan Giráldez, Ella, or Jason. How do you kick us off?
Jonah, thanks for speaking with us tonight. Congrats on the win. Wanted to ask you about maybe there was a little bit of a difference in the first half and second half in terms of dominating the ball, creating chances. In the first half, you were very wide in your shape. How do you think the team executed on that, and what were you looking for in doing that?
Yeah, completely agree. I think the first half we played very well. I think we have created a lot of chances to score. I mean, we scored 2 goals and we deserve it, but the second half was completely different. They were defending higher. They include Kundananji. We know that she's a big threat, especially when you are attacking, ready for the transition. And we missed a lot of balls. You know, we tried to change the shape in the minute 25, 30 more or less, and I think then, we have a better balance. We played 4-4-2 in the last 20, 25, 30 minutes, I don't know, and we play much better. The perception in the beginning of the second half was we were not defending well the first line, we were not defending well base, because Pickett was receiving many times completely free, and we were not defending well the side-back players. So we decided to change the shape, to improve, especially defensively, and then attacking too. I think putting Lacey higher, Chloe, Hachi, we were able to win more second balls. When the other team is pressing 1v1, you need to be, have players enough to win the second ball, and then I think we improved the performance. I cannot be very happy with that performance, but it was better than the beginning of the second half, and in the end of the day, we have to put in value what we did in the first half, because we play a good game.
I know it's pretty early. We saw Gabby come through with something wrapped up on her hand. Do you know the extent of the injury or have any perspective on that?
I've been speaking with her now. She felt something here. Being honest, I don't have the diagnosis to know what she has, but yeah, the decision to change her was because she felt something on her finger, and yeah, she should have something, but I don't know exactly what she has.
We go to Ella and then Mario.
Hi, Jonah. Thanks for speaking with us after the Kansas City result here 6 days ago. How much of a motivation was there to get this particular result? A shutout, 2 goals early in the first half. How much did you feel it?
I think the connection that we have with the people is very important. It's very big, and it's very important to maintain that connection, get points. And you need to win games. You need to create chances. You need to spread your energy to the supporters. When you are creating chances, how the Audi Field stadium is performing. They are performing very well. So for us, we were not thinking just about their result in the other day. It's just what we wanna give them to the supporters who are coming here and they deserve. Because they are giving us big support the last season and also in this starting of this season. Being Friday today, playing so late, so I have to say thank you because they were so important today, and this victory is for all of them.
And then what did you see on Ashley Hatch's 2 goals, especially after she missed the header early on and then was able to get 2 headed goals within a span of 3 minutes?
I think she's improving a lot the position in the last meters. We know that she's a good player when she comes to play in pocket. She's a good player when she has the chance to appear and then do passes and assist other players, but she's a striker. So she needs to be there. She needs to create chances. She needs to score goals. We have to push her to get that. And she's improving her position into the box. If you see, and also the chances that she created the other day against Kansas, she's occupying the right position. The goal that we scored against Houston is she the player who touched the ball and then deflection of the keeper. McKenna is ready there to just to push the ball in the second post. She's improving on that, and she needs to be consistency. When she is there, we have more chances to score goals, and she got today. But very happy for her because she's open-minded, always trying to learn, trying to improve, so she deserves it too.
We'll go to Mario.
Buenas noches, Jonah. Felicitaciones por los 3 puntos. Este fue un partido un poco de 2 tiempos. El primer tiempo jugaron un poquito más ofensivo, dominaron un poco más en la posesión y se vio en los 2 goles. Y en el segundo tiempo era más defensivo, tratando de parar un poco el ataque de BFC. ¿Qué ajustes hiciste en el segundo tiempo para evitar que metieran gol esta noche?
Hemos sido muy superiores en la primera parte y hemos sido inferiores en la segunda parte. Hemos jugado peor la segunda parte, es una realidad. Podrían haber merecido perfectamente marcar algún gol. Ellas cambiaron la intención en la presión alta. Creo que lo que propusieron en primera parte nos dio bastante confianza y seguridad con balón, porque tengo la sensación que los jugadores de Spirit tenían bastante tiempo para poder pasarnos la pelota, y en la segunda parte no teníamos tiempo, y en esas situaciones donde intentamos buscar a Hachi para descarga, nos faltaba gente alrededor, y ahí pues lo que hemos intentado es que Lacey ganara un poquito más de altura, introducir a Chloe para que también pudiese estar ahí en esas posiciones de cuadrado, y tener a Brit que nos pudiese dar algo más de profundidad. Con ese doble pivote con Heather y con Arumi, pues nos ha dado algo más de consistencia. Creo que a partir de esos cambios hemos podido estar más rato en campo contrario, o sea, hemos recuperado otra vez el equilibrio, pero aún así sabemos que es un equipo con jugadoras de mucho nivel. Kundanan, Jessisat, Lima, entrando la segunda parte, Pickets en base, Dalkenper, Anderson, tienen un equipo de muchísimo nivel. Malon, son Didasco, son jugadoras que les gusta muchísimo atacar, Bailey, Boade, entre líneas. Sabemos que es un equipo de mucho nivel, de que tiene buen talento, y bueno, hemos intentado cambiar alguna cosa para que pudiésemos equilibrar algo el partido. Creo que en ese sentido lo hemos conseguido, pero obviamente tenemos que reconocer que el rival ha sido mejor en esa segunda parte. Entonces, la cuenta pendiente para el próximo partido es ser mejores en la primera y también en la segunda.
¿Cuál es la importancia ya entrando en una fecha FIFA de tener descanso y recuperar jugadoras, pensando en la próxima fecha después de la fecha FIFA?
Importantísimo, porque al final necesitamos gente, necesitamos números, necesitamos efectivos, ya no solo para los partidos, para entrenar también, que podamos tener sinergias dentro del equipo. El hecho de haber ganado un título, hemos ganado 3 partidos, solo hemos perdido 1, dadas las circunstancias, creo que el balance es positivo. Siempre queremos más y vamos a intentar luchar para ganar el mayor número de partidos posible.
Gracias.
We'll go to Jimena and then Kala.
Coach, felicitaciones por este partido que ganaste 2-0 contra las Bay FC. Y algo que yo estoy con la curiosidad es de Chloe Ricketts. Con el partido de hoy se convirtió en la 4ª jugadora en jugar 1000 minutos para los equipos de la NWSL antes de cumplir 18 años. ¿Hiciste el cambio en el minuto 79 con ese propósito?
No, la verdad es que no. El cambio fue porque necesitábamos gente ocupando cuadrados, y el perfil de Chloe en ataque es ese, y después también porque necesitábamos que a nivel defensivo nos pudiese defender las incorporaciones de Didasco. Desconocía este dato, pero si le ha ayudado, pues enhorabuena también por ello.
¿Y cómo te sientes en entrenar a jugadoras tan jóvenes como ella?
Tengo mucha experiencia en entrenar jugadoras jóvenes. En el Barça, mi pasado, pues he tenido la suerte de poder entrenar a muchas jugadoras que venían del fútbol formativo, y también en mi previo pasado en la Federación Catalana de Fútbol, he podido entrenar a jugadoras sub-18, sub-16, sub-12, masculinas y femeninas. O sea, tengo especial sensibilidad porque son jugadoras que están muy, muy, muy receptivas, y el ejemplo de Chloe Ricketts creo que es un muy buen ejemplo. El nivel que está mostrando este año, sobre todo a nivel defensivo, es completamente diferente al nivel del año pasado, y me gusta cuando las jugadoras jóvenes suben con alegría, con energía, con ganas de aprender. Evidentemente es favorable para ella, es favorable para mí, en definitiva ayuda al equipo.
All right, we'll go over to Colin and then to Andre.
Coach, after last week's performance, what were you most happy about the way the team played today, apart from the result, of course?
Today, the beginning of the game, the first half, we've been speaking a lot about what happened against Orlando, against Houston, against Kansas. The first 10-15 minutes we didn't play well enough, and today it was very important to connect with the people, connect within us, within players, staff, to be in the other half pitch, create as many chances as possible, and identify better situations to create chances, especially in terms of advantage. And I am very happy for that. But we need to improve our performance in the second half because it was not good enough. So next step, we need to emphasize, try to do a good job the 90 minutes. We know how difficult is that because the dynamic of the game, when you are winning, you want to grab that and you don't want to lose it. But in the end of the day, we have to be happy because we got important 3 points today.
I like that you always say that. You want to improve on every performance. But there's something that maybe a bit of concern me. I don't know about you, but it concerned me a little bit. The 3 yellow cards that were picked up were not for fouls, or it was just for just kicking the ball away. So is that something that is of concern to you, especially when you consider going down the line, suspensions might arise as a result of those
probably for
bookings?
me it's about the advantage. Today the advantage in the first half we have advantage in the build up and also with the wing backs with Casey and Gabby we had advantage there. But the second half we didn't have advantage there. The advantage were in pocket and also threatening behind. So you have to change some things, some positions to identify that and be aware to win the challenge, the 50-50 and also the second ball. When the other team is, as they were doing in the second half, almost 1v1 situation, you need to play in other way. We did changes in the second half to improve that situations. We create a better balance, in that moments. But for sure, when you are, I think it's a part of mental performance. When you are winning the game, you don't want to lose it. So sometimes the reaction is just kick out the ball and try to defend, and we need to improve on that. Obviously, we didn't do a good job in the second half. We cannot be happy because the performance was not good enough in the second half, but we have to analyze the full game. In the game, I think we deserve it, the goal that we scored in the first half.
Thanks for speaking with us and congrats on the win. I wanted to follow up on that point as well because, the performance, you said the second half especially could be better, but, there are reasons why. There are a lot of players injured and that are out. Do you think that the performances that you're putting in now will kind of pay off down the road when you do have everybody back, now that more players are getting more experience?
It could be. For sure, players need to play to gain that experience. It's normal if players don't play, it's not possible to get experience. I think I put this example many times. Britt, Chloe, they played the final against Orlando, and I think in terms of confidence, especially for Chloe because she's a young player, how it's affecting to their development to increase her confidence because I see her training every day and I know her potential. And players coming from the bench in the second half, they need to help us. Today was to maintain the result, try to stretch as much as possible the defensive line, and to keep the ball a little more. And it's normal when you don't have the experience, you need those games. But when you win, it's going to be easier for you to grow as a person, as a player in this environment, because you know how important it is when you are starting the game in a good shape, and also the players coming from the second half. We need to be consistent. I always say that it doesn't matter who is playing. We need to have the same identity. And the identity today in the first half, the second half was completely different.
And I wanted to ask about the three back, especially in the first half. We got to see Bernal went on a kind of a long run, into the final third, and Tara did as well. Does the three back kind of allow you to give them more freedom to go forward?
When you play with three build up in the way that they were defended today, Bernal had time to dribble and play forward. Other times, a striker is ready to defend those players. So it's about identify advantage. And today the advantage were with, especially I think, Tara and Rebecca, going forward, especially when we had the situation to switch and finding McKenna and Gabby there. So I'm happy because of that, because I remember the game against Houston, we didn't do a good job in build-up, and we improved a lot last week against Kansas. We lost, we know that, but our center backs, they build up really, really well. And today, we can be happy because the performance in the first half in terms of identifying advantage, when we had to play short passes, when we had to play long passes, when we had to dribble, when we had to repeat passes, I mean, we identified pretty well the advantage that we had in build-up today.
Thank you. All right, we'll wrap up with Brian.
So Trinity Rodman makes her first start of the season, after coming off of that injury. How did you think her performance was, and how do you envision, kind of the rest of the season going for her in terms of your front three?
She gave us a big stretch. I mean, when she's there, defensive line is scaring a little bit because she's very fast. So anytime that you have the chance to receive in base or pocket, she can give us a big stretch to create more spaces. I know that she always wants to perform better, and today I thought that the best for her was just to play 60 minutes, having a good quality on those minutes. As the last week, she had the chance to play 30, 35, and right now she's building in her availability to be available to play more minutes, to play more games, to help the team. and she's improving. I think that's the most important thing, that she's building, her fitness, and she's improving every week her performance.
And Keisha Silla made her debut today. Can you just talk about that? She signed in the summer. She's still a very young player. How do you envision her kind of future with the club, or your plans for her and the team, everything like that?
She's an athlete. She's fast. She's strong, but she has a good. She was playing in the past as a midfielder, a lot of several years. So she can play. I know she can play as center back. In Lyon, she was playing most of the times as a center back. She can play both positions, but I see her as a center back. And I need players for that position with a good build-up, and also intense in the defensive situation, especially when we have to defend jumping in front of, and also in the situation that we have to defend behind, because we know in the way that we like to attack, how the spaces we concede behind, we need players available to defend those spaces. She's coming from an injury that she had in Lyon, and step by step trying to improve her performance, because I think she's going to help us a lot.
Thank you.
Everybody. Thank you, Jonah. We'll be right back with
Thank
Trinity
you.
Rodman and
Have
Casey
a good
Kruger.
night.
Trinity has to get out of here, so we've got time for about 3 questions with her. Jason, we'll start with you right there.
Hi, Trinity. Thanks for speaking with us. I wanted to ask first about, we talked on Wednesday about the mental hurdles you've been having to get through, working through your injury. Tonight, obviously, starting, playing an hour, game got kind of physical at times. You seem to be fine. So how was it to sort of work through that landmark, so to speak, as you come back to, maybe full 90s?
Yeah, I felt good. I think trying to pick the right words so I don't get in trouble. No, I think we played really well. I think anytime we play Bay, it's a tough game. Thankfully, we've been able to win them. I'm happy with what the team did. I think we lost control at the end. And we made it more transitional than it needed to be at times as well. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of things to work on, but I'm happy with the way that I've integrated back in, and hopefully, as time keeps going, I'll be back up to 90 and be able to have the whole game to settle in and kind of make my mark.
We'll go over to Colin.
Trent, welcome back, by the way.
Thank you.
I know it's kind of hard when you're coming back from not just a serious injury, but one that's pain, because I know you were playing through pain for most of the end of last season. Do you feel like you're back at 100% now, especially now that international break, you should maybe taking quite a break and then just going straight back into it? Do you feel like you're up there and you can take all of this?
Honestly, I don't think my back will ever be 100%. It's kind of an issue of, it's not one specific thing. It's kind of just the way that my back's structured, and kind of it's more so a management than a curable fix. So I think we've managed it really well, and I'm happy with the progression that we've had. But for me, I don't think my back will ever be the way it was my rookie year, which is unfortunate. But yeah, like you're saying, I think it's tough for me coming off of such a good season in the Olympics and then going into an injury, and then now trying to kind of find my place again and find my role and find my rhythm. I think having such a incline of momentum and going and going and going and then getting injured, it's where am I starting again? Because you can't just kind of get right back into it. So for me, that's been the mental battle of, I can't be the Trinity that I was at the Olympics now coming back from injury. So I'm just trying to play the role as best as I can and still be effective in a different way as I kind of build back up into it.
And we'll finish off one more with Ella.
Oh, is that you? Oh, sorry.
Thanks for speaking with us, Trinity. What did you see on Hatch's 2 goals? And she also mentioned that you had a hand in the celebration on the second one involving the photo shoot.
Yeah, I mean, Hatch is always in the right place at the right time. I think her positioning is phenomenal. She knows exactly how to kind of sneak on the back shoulder anytime. If she's finishing with her head or her foot, her knee, her stomach, I think she's always finding a way to get it in the back of the net. And yeah, we did talk about that celebration. That was actually Esme that came up with that. And then I was the one that pushed, it doesn't matter who scores, we're going to do it. And then I'm just so thankful it was Hatch, because I was like, come on. So I ran over there real quick and I set it up. So I'm just really happy she did it. And I don't know, I love seeing that personality from everybody, because even though Hatch was uncomfortable, she thought it was cute. So I'm happy about that.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, we have Casey Kruger and Esme Morgan. Who would like to kick us off? Something new and different. Jason, go ahead.
Thanks to you both for speaking with us. Congrats on the win. I wanted to ask first, in the first half especially, there was a lot of width. Last week, Jonah had mentioned maybe wanting, this maybe goes to you, Casey, getting more out of the wingbacks and wide forwards. And tonight it was very obvious, like touchline to touchline from the start. How did you see that playing out in terms of setting the stage for the first half and getting the 2 goals, kind of dominating that first half?
Yeah, I think the first half we did quite well. We knew that they were going to try and clog up the middle so that the space would be out in the channels. And so I think us wingbacks were really focused on our positioning and kind of playing with it, trying to force either the outside back but to jump while also beating their winger. So I think that was a big focus for us in making sure we always gave the center backs an option. And I think it went a little bit better this week for us.
Esme, we've heard from Trinity and Hatchie about the celebration. Wanted to know what the inspiration was, and maybe Trinity said she her role in this was sort of make sure that it was someone did the celebration. How does that go, trying to get some of the players who are maybe like, I don't know if this is for me, on board for a pretty big celebration?
Well, I mean, Hatchie took a little bit of persuading, to be fair, before the game. Basically, yesterday we were in the warm-ups and Trin asked our line, which was me, Tara, Gabby and Lacey, if our life was on the line, could we do like a professional catwalk and fit in? And I was like, absolutely. If my life is on the line, my body would produce. And then so today I was like, oh my gosh, Trin, I've got an idea for a celebration. Whoever scores should do a catwalk. And she was like, wait, that could be good. So then we were spreading the word around the dressing room. And we very specifically told Hatchie, actually, so I think we manifested that she was going to score because, yeah, we were like convincing her. And she was like, I don't know. And I just like grabbed her hand and shook it so she was in. She didn't really have much choice in the matter, but I'm glad she was up for it when the time came along.
How is it to get we know Trinity and Croy have both come up with a lot of celebrations. How is it to propose one that gets the sign-off so quickly?
I suppose I should be honoured, really, that she approved of it so quickly. But, yeah, Trin was on board, and then from then it was just trying to spread the word and get everyone else going. I told Hatchie I wanted her to, like, walk between us, but I think that was a bit far, really.
All right, we'll go Emily and then Brian.
A little less fun of a question, but having scored twice early enough in the game in the first half hour, and how long the game went, 101, 102 minutes. For both of you, it's been a while since this team's been in that position, but what was the mindset and going into halftime and then out of halftime, how were you approaching defending the lead? I think towards the end you switched to a 4-back, but what was the process and how long, from a defensive point of view, did that game end up feeling?
The second half felt quite long, and I feel like we probably didn't want to end up defending as much as we did. We would have liked to have had a lot more possession in the second half and created a lot more chances and been a little bit more patient as we were first half, but they changed their press quite a lot and kind of moved people really high. So we had to play a little bit more direct, which means there's always more frequent turnovers. So, yeah, the last half an hour or so was kind of just backs to the wall, defending. Those games can be fun sometimes, but obviously we'd like to attack a little bit more than we did, but it was just about grinding it out, trying to stand firm and get a result, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just echo that. I mean, when I saw the extra time, 11 minutes, I almost cried. But yeah, it felt like an eternity, to be honest. I think it would have been nice to be a little bit more on the front foot. We were just kind of conceding in a lot of space, but sometimes that's just what you got to do. So proud of the group for holding strong and still getting the shutout.
All right, we'll go Heman and then Brian.
This question is for both of you. How is to play with Rebecca Bernal?
I love it. Rebe is such a strong presence, like especially in the air with the long balls. She's so good at attacking them. really comfortable on the ball as well, and I feel like as part of the back three or back five, I feel really secure with everyone around me, so I've really enjoyed playing with her so far.
She's come right in and just fit in seamlessly, really, especially with this league and with this team. And yeah, just like you said, she's so good in the air, and she's got such long range on her long balls, and so that's kind of added another dimension to us as well. But it's been such a joy to have her.
All right, and we'll go Brian and Andre.
Hey, thanks for talking with us. So this is you guys' first clean sheet of the season. You know, a very good performance defensively, both of you being back there. How are you guys going to build on this? You know, try to keep more, try to just be better defensively throughout the season.
Oh, sorry, you were drinking. I'll go. Yeah, I didn't realise that was our first clean sheet, actually. I feel like there's been some games where we felt hard done by, and it kind of feels like we've had one when we haven't. But yeah, I think it's always fun to kind of look at the scoreline at the end of the game and see a 0. I take a lot of pride in that as a defender. I know everyone in the back line does, and Aubrey too. So I think it's just a lot of it comes from communication and organising those in front of us as best we can. Obviously that limits it getting to us having to do our jobs, but then once we do, I feel like we've got a good understanding of position-wise and roles, who needs to deal with which player, sliding round and covering for one another. So I feel like the communication's been really good since the start of the season, and feel really secure. So hopefully we can just continue that, and as I say, try and keep the ball a little bit longer, which obviously limits the amount of time we have to defend.
Yeah, I think that's well said.
And, Casey, you've played almost every minute of every game this season so far. With the international break kind of coming up, how are you going to, you know, rest and prepare for the next, you know, long parts of the season? Just, you know, being so present in the team in every game.
Yeah, that's a great question. Now with this international break, we've got 3 days off, which is really nice. So I think just remembering that it's a marathon this season, and just being smart and doing the things off the field to take care of my body, but also like the fun things like the family time and, you know, the things to kind of reset my battery, and just being ready to go for the next week.
Over to Andre.
Congrats on the win and hanging in there in the second half. I wanted to ask about the formation, playing the 3-back/5-back. I know you both very, you know, versatile on the back line, both of you, but different spaces, obviously different systems. Just how has it been to kind of pick up on the, you know, different spaces within it, and the different performances, you know, the first half going forward and the second half defending quite a bit?
Yeah, it's been fun. I feel like it gives us a lot of security defensively, and we did a lot better this week using it to our advantage in possession. I felt like last week we weren't as good at getting as many numbers forward, and so kind of felt a little bit more difficult to break into the final third, whereas today, firstly, I feel like our decision making and our tidiness on the ball was a lot better than last week, but I think also the positions we were getting our wing backs into, our midfielders were pushing a little bit higher too, and kind of floating into wide areas to overload a little bit. I feel like we really took advantage of the numbers that you can get up there in that formation, so I've really enjoyed it. When we're sort of backs against the wall like we were the second half, having that extra number at the back can be really helpful, just for defending crosses and having bodies in the way. So yeah, I feel like I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've loved it too. I think it makes us more versatile too, depending on the opponent and what spaces are open. But yeah, I think it's really nice having that extra number in possession, and just able to be a little bit more dangerous in getting numbers. And I think we did a better job of understanding our positioning and how we can be more dangerous as well.
And I also wanted to ask about building on performances kind of game after game. You know, we've seen it just watching, you know, the team from the Challenge Cup till now. Obviously, the team still has a lot of players out injured, but from your perspective, do you think that the growth that the team is going through right now with the available players is going to kind of pay off down the line when everybody is back?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're just going to continue to get better and better, and if we're already, you know, improving this much, missing how many players right now, I think it's exciting to think about where we're going to end up at the end of the season.
All right. Thank you, Casey and Esme. Thank you, everybody. We will see you in a few weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you.